What's up, guys? Uncle Bobby here, and welcome to episode 7 from Uncle B and Top G. Before we start the episode, many of you comment about the size of my shirt. So the reason why the shirt seems small is because I'm too big. That's why the shirt seems small. And I have to look like at least half the size of this gentleman here that's being filmed on the wide angle camera. It's the widest angle that we could get. Top G, how have you been?
Good, and you, Uncle B?
Very good.
Very good.
Excited?
Very excited. I'm excited for our first topic, which is Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. I think the ages are 58 versus 27.
I think the important part there is that he's half Mike Tyson's age.
And Mike Tyson, from the way in, looks half his size. I don't know what that guy's on, what gear he's on, but it's freaking working. He is huge compared to Mike.
I mean, what sparked this fight? What was the catalyst that sparked this fight? I mean, why would a 58-year-old take on a 27-year-old? I kind of feel more invigorated because I'm 50, and I'm like, yeah.
So you're not 50, you're 19. You look 19, by the way. So awesome Netflix series that came out, and just following Jake Paul's boxing journey and how he came about to become a boxer, because he's a real boxer. It's not a show anymore. Maybe the first 2-3 fights, how it came about, that was your question.
Yes.
And the answer is he became this massive YouTuber from, doing really dumb shit on camera, getting a lot of following to really starting to make a lot of money from AdSense. He started understanding the algorithm and he became massive, huge following, massive YouTuber, very famous, ended up on Disney, on the Disney Channel, very short Disney career, climbed off and just did crazy stuff, made lots of money. Then another massive YouTuber called him out and they started having this public banter. I don't know if it was organized behind the scenes, which I think it was.
Yeah.
Where me and you are going to have this massive beef on camera. We're homies, but it's good for business.
Yes.
And eventually they said, well, we need to fight, because that's the only way men really go and resolve issues. That's the only way it should be. So they arranged a boxing match where Jake Paul beat the living shit out of this guy, like really bad. So
Was the other guy a boxer?
no, also a YouTuber.
Okay, so none of them were boxers.
No, none of them come from a fighting background.
Did they do it MMA style or boxing style? Boxing style with gloves.
Proper boxing style with gloves. Then Jake Paul got called out by another guy, also another famous YouTuber. And then he got called out by another guy. And he just kept beating the shit out of everybody. And then he got called out by a ex-MMA fighter that fought in the UFC. Okay, so this is
a winner or a
winner.
mediocre?
No, winner, proper guy, but boxing match.
Okay.
So sort of similar to what Conor did with Money Mayweather.
Yeah.
Same type of a build up on YouTube, huge pay-per-view, and Jake Paul knocks the shit out of this guy, and then a second guy and a third guy, and that's when people are like, okay, this boy has real skills.
Yes.
So
Had he gone for any kind of boxing training?
100%.
Okay.
He trains with the best. So remember, money gives you access.
Yes.
I learned a cool thing this morning in our training. The better you become, the higher quality your coaches become.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So-
Look, I know you.
Well, I know you. So you've been coaching me for many years. But the better you become at your craft, the higher the skill set of the coach that you have access to. So sorry. And then back to how did it come about?
Yeah.
Big head. Now, I'm a proper fighter. I'm not a YouTuber.
Start getting a bit of an ego.
Moves to Costa Rica, and has his first Ayahuasca experience with I think it's called a shaman.
Shaman with mushrooms.
No, Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is also a plant, but you can either smoke it and then it.
Don't they go into a tent?
Yes,
And then they steam this. It's almost like hot boxing.
Yes, 100%. Or you make tea out of it.
Yes.
And the tea is like the vicious one because it goes all in your liver and in your organs and everything has an effect. But what everyone says, and Joe Rogan speaks about it all the time, is when you have a Ayahuasca experience, you have clarity.
Okay.
Except in some dodgy areas, I think it's in South America, where the shamans like sexually abuse the people that are out of it for a while. That's messed up, yeah. So there's lots of that shit going on. But the one that
somebody will always fuck it up somewhere. Someone will screw it up.
So while you're busy
for everybody,
while you're busy having an out of body experience, then you have a real body experience without you knowing it. That is messed up, man.
It's proper.
I'm sorry, but he has this Ayahuasca experience, and he says the first thing that he realizes is, I need to fight Mike Tyson. Yeah, I need to fight Mike Tyson. So when he comes around and he's himself again, so people go for this.
Has he ever lost up to this point?
No. Unbeaten, and formidable. He's got like the most vicious right hook out of hell, my friend, and he's a big boy. He's a heavy guy. So comes about and he says, this is my purpose in life. This is the next thing that I have to do, because on a trip on Ayahuasca, you get clarity and you realize what is actually important.
Yeah.
Going forward, your future. So you have this out of body experience, hopefully with a shaman that's trustworthy, that doesn't abuse you. But he says, I need to fight Mike Tyson, and then he calls him. He's like, listen, Mike, Jake Paul here, me and you need to have a fight. So I'm going to try and do my best, Mike Tyson. He's like, yeah, man, let's do it. So he speaks like a 14-year-old girl, and they agree to this fight. Now,
Mike doesn't sound the way he looks.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract. So anyway, they set this up, and supposedly it's going to be the biggest boxing event of any boxing event in history. Most pay-per-views, most watched. Netflix is gonna host it live. So if you're a Netflix subscriber, you can obviously, that's the one channel that you can watch it. But
and this is happening Friday.
This Friday, and everybody's like on two sides. I ran lots of polls on my Instagram. Tyson versus Jake Paul. Who do you think wins? Like 88% of the people say Mike Tyson. And I am a huge Mike Tyson fan. I've watched, there is nothing that I haven't seen from Mike Tyson. But he is 58, going up against a young man.
27-year-old beast.
In his prime.
Yeah.
A beast that's very well funded. He doesn't need to do this for the money, even though they're probably going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. But actually enjoys fighting and enjoys the sport and hasn't lost.
Yeah.
What's your thought?
Well, I mean, firstly, my late dad was a boxer.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot taller than me.
Okay.
And big man. Him and his brothers were boxers and very rarely lost a fight.
Wow.
Never. They were. What do you call it? Amateur boxers. Amateur boxers. So never went professional, but they were boxers. And the stories my dad told me about if you're a boxer, don't get into a bar brawl.
Okay.
Apparently, it's illegal
to get into a bar brawl if you're a boxer.
If you're a professional boxer.
Well, it should be, because you're a freaking
lethal.
weapon.
You're absolutely lethal. So anyway, so my point is my dad used to wake me up at 2:00 in the morning to watch big boxing matches.
Nice.
And we used to do that together, and I was like, that
was your thing.
that was our thing. And so I loosely followed boxing over my growing up years with my dad, because he was a boxer and then he was into boxing. So big fights I've watched, and I've watched a couple of Mike Tyson's fights. He's a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in this instance, he doesn't bite someone's.
Someone's ears
Yeah.
off. Jake
Or-
Paul's got huge ears, so the chances are good.
They must feed him before he goes there. But I think Mike Tyson would have matured by now, and got some savvy and realized that it's as much as it's a boxing match to win, it's a show.
On that, I've got an opinion, and tinfoil hat on. So, two things. Number one, we cannot discount the amount of revenue this will generate for both fighters.
Yeah.
I think Mike has been laying low for a long time. He's going on podcasts, smoking weed, chatting to Eminem, laughing, flying his birds. But in the background, he's still Mike Tyson, and he's still maintaining a very, very high lifestyle. So does he need the money? In my opinion, to a degree, yes.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes. He's got a lifestyle to maintain.
Yes. You know, Rolls Royces are expensive, and that's what he's cruising around with. I don't think he's buying Tigers anymore, but to a degree, yes, he does need the money. But I think the deep motivation for him, in my opinion, is
I think he wants to be relevant still.
yes.
At 58, and given if you've got a dodgy past,
Yes.
he might be reaching a stage where he's like, okay, I need to clean this up now, and maybe this is a way to clean that up, is to have a decent, even if he loses, a decent fight that is a positive thing rather than
Negative.
biting someone's ear off and negative.
I got you. Like, sort of leave that as his legacy.
As his legacy.
Okay,
It
that's a
could be
nice angle. Yes.
Could be a legacy thing. It's like, okay, I need to exit this life with my last fight being a positive experience.
If I'm the organizer of this event, though, I'm already like 2-3 steps ahead of where we currently are, because no matter what happens, if Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
okay, I'm arranging a rematch, because that's something like 88% of my Instagram followers would want to see Mike Tyson win. And I'm sure over the world, especially with boxing not being as popular over the last 10 years as MMA is and UFC, you've got like your 35, 40-year-old plus people that are vivid, like Mike Tyson followers. They would want to see a rematch depending on how it goes. That's one option. If Mike Tyson beats Jake Paul, then there's definitely going to be a rematch, in my opinion, because Jake Paul is powerful in terms of following. He's very powerful. You'll rally up enough money to make it happen. Whether it happens in America or Abu Dhabi, it will happen
But
somewhere.
has Jake Paul ever been hit by somebody that can hit like Tyson?
Well, at 58, does he really hit like Tyson? That's the other question. So I think for Mike, my opinion, I like your legacy point though. It makes sense. I saw him on a podcast, like you can barely see him because they've hotboxed this thing, where he was talking to Eminem, and he said to Eminem, my son said he wants to be a professional fighter. So M is like, so what do you think? So he laughs. He says, I looked at him and I said, dude, you went to private school. You cannot be a professional fighter.
But maybe that's Mike's edge, because he's a street fighter.
There we go. And he's a warrior.
And he's there's nothing that's going to put him down.
There we go.
Whereas maybe Jake Paul is too polished.
Yes.
And is not going to see the street fighter.
Yes.
Coming.
Yes. And also that animosity inside him, where whenever he gets interviewed, are you a good person trying to be bad, or are you a bad person trying to be good? He's like, both forces are pulling me, but I'm death, I'm negative, I'm a bad person. He always starts crying, he gets emotional. I think deep down inside at 58, he's still, his DNA is he's a warrior. And maybe Jake Paul, if I'm Jake Paul, I want to fight him, because I don't think he fights anyone else and makes as much money, in my opinion.
Yeah,
No one
yeah.
else will have that pay-per-view payment that Mike Tyson will. So I want to like retire properly for the next 4 generations. So I would want to fight him. So maybe Jake Paul pushed the right button
Yeah.
after his Ayahuasca experience that ignited that fire of warrior again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're both coming at this from a very different angle.
Can't wait, man. It's like 3 sleeps away.
3 sleeps away.
Yeah, 3 sleeps away.
I'm gonna watch it beginning to end.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, it's not at a stupid, ungodly hour.
What do you think happens in the fight?
So I think it's going to be either a quick knockout, which I doubt.
Okay.
Because it sounds like they're both formidable.
Yes,
Okay. I don't think you can knock Tyson out so easily.
I agree. Just the age part.
You can't. I mean, once upon a time, I was a cyclist.
Okay.
And somebody said something to me because I couldn't understand why these old bullies were like had much more stamina than I had.
And they're a lot older than you.
I was in my late 20s, mid-late 20s, and these 50... I'll tell you a story.
Please.
I'm cycling in the south of Joburg. I'm in my mid-20s. Now, it's not about the bike.
Okay. It's not.
So I get myself a carbon fiber. This thing weighs maybe 5 kilograms.
It's those
racing bike.
Racing bike, not a
Yes.
mountain bike.
No, racing bike.
Okay.
Racing. I was into racing bikes. And this proved to me it's not about the bike. Because like we used to cycle out to the south and then back up what was called the steps. Now,
Okay.
which is a road that is parallel to the road that goes out to what's that area's name? Henley on Klip.
Okay.
Okay, the road that goes out to Henley on Klip. There's a road that's parallel to that coming back. We used to ride up that road, and then there's a place called the Steps because it's undulating. So it's a climb and then it's flat, and then it's a climb and then it's
Holy
flat.
moly.
And there's about 5 or 6 of those. So you're riding nicely, and now you're in probably the last third of the 100 kilometers that you're riding. Get to the bottom of the steps, and I'm alongside this person, and
He's probably on a rally bike. One of
I
those
can't
cheapies.
remember what he was on, but it was, anyway. So we start climbing the steps, and I'm stuck. I can feel I can't keep up with this guy. Get to the first flat. It's like, fuck, this is hard.
Yeah.
This is really tough. Anyway, get to the next one, and now I'm battling. Like I stand up, try to ride my way up that hill, get to the next flat. And I looked at the guy, I said to him, are you not battling? He looks at me, he says to me, no, I'm okay. Anyway.
Now that 20-something-year-old ego also comes into play from...
I can't let this like drop me. I
Never.
just can't.
I'd rather
It's just
die.
not happening. And I mean, my heart rate was 170 beats a minute, which is high. Eventually I looked at him, I said to him, he says to me, do you know how old I am? I said, no, because now I had the cycling
Yes,
helmet on. And
you
whatever.
can't really
You
see.
can't really see. The guy was 70 years old. 70. And I'm here, 26 or whatever it was. I could not keep up with him.
So that's years and years of training, and it's not only muscle memory, bone density, ligaments, your cartilages, everything gets stronger and stronger over time.
So eventually, because everybody kind of like you arrive at the end and everyone has coffee and chats and then somebody said something to me that over your lifetime, stamina builds.
Yes. Okay.
Stamina builds. Actually, older people have more stamina than younger people in many instances.
Okay.
And so it wouldn't surprise me if Mike has the stamina and Jake Paul has the power in this fight.
I've got it differently in my mind. I think if it goes past the third round, Mike loses. I think if it goes past,
You think Mike has to knock him out?
has to, he has to go in there as Mike Tyson, and you know, and this is another Joe Rogan episode that I've seen that I probably watched it 100 times. If you look at Money Mayweather, they carry him onto the stage. So they're carrying him, and he's got this throne, and he's got this golden robe, and all
about the show.
All about the show. Then you've got Justin Bieber next to him, and I don't know who else. Okay, you look at Mike Tyson. He takes a towel, he cuts a hole in the middle, puts it over his head. He doesn't wear any socks. He's got his boxing boots on. He comes there and he's just trying to fuck you up. That's all he's doing. That's the
Couldn't
exact
care about
word.
anything else.
He wants to fucking kill you. Unless he goes out in a different mindset, in my opinion, he loses. So I'll know whether he'll lose or not from the way that he goes out. That's just my tinfoil hat. If he goes out, I'm going to fuck you up. And no socks, just towel over the head, angry, staring at the guy like he's food, and trying to like kill him. If it goes past round 3, I think the younger Jake Paul at 27
We'll beat him.
will beat him because he'll wear him down. I think the age is a real factor. I would not want to see Mike lose at that age. I'd love to see him win, but I think it's not going to be very, very easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think he's lost power, gained stamina.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe we should take bets on it.
Yes, side bets.
Side bets.
Even if I lose, I'm Mike Tyson, Team Mike Tyson. I'm Mike.
Oh no, I'm Team Mike Tyson. It's just I don't think he's got it anymore to do the knockout in three rounds. So he's got to go out there, and you said it now. He's got to go in there with a different strategy, and use his age to his advantage. And what are those advantages?
I think as the fight progresses, those advantages just decrease.
Yeah.
Will he be fast? Yes, I've seen his training videos. He's super fast. Will he have the power? Yes, because like you said, those muscle memory, it's there.
Yeah.
He'll have maybe not as much power as he used to, but it's still formidable power. He's not a YouTuber. He's a fucking boxer. His neck is this size. and I think there's always that fighter's chance. Jake Paul might just clip him in round 1,
Yeah.
on the counter, and then it is what it is. But, yeah, I would hate
What
to
are their
see
weight differences?
So Mike Tyson is
100
100
kilos.
100 kilos. That's a
Jeez, I
unit.
would have thought it would be more.
He's 6 foot. I know that.
I weigh
He's
90 kilos.
Yeah. Yeah. But how tall are you?
177.
So that's over 6 foot.
No.
Is it-
180 is 6 foot.
180.
Yeah, 177. How tall is Mike Tyson?
I think he's 6 foot.
So he's a lean 100 kilos.
Yes. 100 kilos. He looks a lot heavier. You're right.
Yeah, he looks a lot
bigger,
heavier.
yeah.
Like 100 kilos feels light, or seems light.
It looks like his neck weighs 16 and a half kilos. It's the fucking neck. You can't even. So is your height?
Oh, he's almost my height. At 100, no, then that's
his power.
That's heavy for 100 for my height.
And what does Jake Paul weigh?
Paul is listed at 6'1".
So it's 180. It's 182, I think. 1.81.
So it's quite a difference.
Yeah, it's a big height difference.
I'd love to compare his reach advantage because he looks like he's got those orangutan arms, Jake Paul. He looks like he can climb trees with those things. They come up to his freaking knees. I think his reach advantage is also going to be.
So Jake Paul must be over 100 kilos too, because
Yeah, I'm sure.
you don't often get a 6 foot man under 100 kilos.
So he will be 99 kilograms
At the weigh-in.
Okay, so they're going to be a similar weight.
That's at weigh-in, but not at the fight. So I know Drickus, like heavily. I saw Drickus 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He is not the weight that he fights. He's a big guy.
Yeah, no, he's big.
He's a
very
huge
tall,
guy.
because I think he's 180 something.
Yes.
Yeah,
So 6'1" is 1.85.
185.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot taller.
very. That's That's 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters taller. So that's like that's a head.
I think that's a good thing for Mike because he's used to fighting guys
Taller
that are a
guys.
lot taller guys, so he
Yeah.
can come in closer.
Yeah.
I think he'll have a tougher time. He's had a tougher time with fighters that are his
Shorter.
size. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, amazing. Prediction?
My prediction, I think Tyson's gonna end up beating him technically.
Technically, so
Yes.
no knockout.
No knockout. I don't think either of them are gonna knock each other out.
Ooh, I'm Tyson knockout round 3.
Round 3.
Round 3, boom,
Boom.
overhead right. Good night. Bye bye, Jake Paul.
Has Jake Paul ever faced a heavy hitter?
I think
Because I think if he's been hit and not been knocked out,
Yeah.
then Tyson won't knock him out.
the UFC guys, I don't think you can. I don't think he has because the UFC guys are more technical, grappling, so they're stronger in other areas,
Yes.
not necessarily
Well,
stand up.
then maybe you're going to be right.
I hope so.
Because-
I hope so. I'd love to see
because
Mike knock him out.
If he hasn't been like when he faces that first hook of Tyson's, it's going to be like
Then
oh,
we'll
shit.
know. Okay, this shit is real.
Because if Tyson hooks him and he gets hurt,
Yes.
then psychologically you get put on the back foot. You're
Yes,
like, oh,
agree.
Fuck, I've got
This
to
guy
watch
can
for
hit.
this. I've got to watch for this guy's hook.
And then you start playing a defensive game, and
And
Tyson
then
will
Tyson
smell
will play
blood.
right into that.
Yes.
Talking about that, you're looking a lot leaner.
Yes, sir. Lost some weight.
You lost some weight,
Yes,
but you're the same weight.
lost some body fat.
Okay.
So lost body fat, didn't lose weight, lost body fat. And I've counseled with you many times on diet, on training, on nutrition, on regime. And what I've done is, today's actually my first day I've taken off in 14 days.
Oh,
So-
in training.
In training, 2 weeks back to back to back to back. And the reason why I took off is I felt my body this morning. I felt that I'm not
You need
ready.
to take a break.
Yeah, everything is sore.
You're taking glutamine.
Yes, and I'm reducing my carbs, increasing my fats, and increasing my proteins.
Okay.
And I'm eating the same thing every day for 2 weeks.
The boring diet.
The boring diet, and 7 minutes in a steam room.
Uh-huh.
That's like if you're in the area, Menlyn, Virgin Active, that steam room works. 7 minutes in there is, I can literally feel like fat falling
Melting
down
off
from
you.
me, melting off me.
So I mean, I do ice baths, but I don't like the heat.
I don't like ice baths. I'll be honest. Can't
You
handle
know,
it.
I want to do the sauna thing, but I don't know. I feel dizzy. I feel, but you before we started the show, you said something about breathing techniques.
Yes. Yes.
How does that help the sauna experience?
So, yesterday morning, I learned a new concept, which already when I heard it, imprinted in my brain. That's how I see myself. I'm a corporate athlete. And what does that mean? It means that I continuously need to do 4 things. So this is what Patrick David taught me when I met him for the first time in the States. So you have to outwork, but a lot of people work hard. The guys digging the fiber trenches work harder than me and you put
Construction
together.
workers.
So it's not enough because they don't earn the amount of money me and you earn. You have to out-improve. So meaning, whatever I'm doing now, I'm constantly making mistakes, taking the lesson. So the only way to improve is through processing without an ego, processing the lesson. This is where I failed. This is how I should approach it the next time, which is, you guaranteed that you're going to mess it up at least half the time.
Fail fast, fail forward.
Yes. But eventually you're like, I stopped making this mistake. Cool. And then out-strategize is the third one.
Out-strategize who?
The competitors. Because you compete. I'm a corporate athlete. Everybody's running in the direction. We're all competing. for
Other
the same-
businesses or other people?
Well, businesses are people, right? Okay, and you're leading me on, and I love the direction you're taking me. I love the direction you're taking me because there's a beautiful story I want to tell you, and I hope the people that I'm going to speak behind their back watch this, which I think they will. But out-strategize means, okay, I'm working hard, I am making mistakes, learning from my mistakes, and I'm making more and more and more and learning more lessons. Out-strategize means, okay, how do I get here faster? How do I spend less here and get a double result? Marketing has been like, I've been, myself, LZ, the rest of the team have been like swimming in the marketing swimming pool over the last, I'll say 6 weeks, deeper than we ever have in the past. It's freaking hard, man. To do the behind the scenes stuff is very hard, but I enjoy it. So out strategizing is, how do we spend less over here but double the leads? Well, that's too much to ask. Well, is it? If we focus our energy for long enough in this area and make more and more mistakes, we end up doing that. Okay, cool. But the fourth one is what makes you a corporate athlete. And I'll get to the story that you're leading me on to now, is outlast. So everyone can work hard for 6 months. Virtually everyone. Everyone can make mistakes and learn from them for 6 months. Everyone can get a strategy going and build up momentum and have an edge for 6 months. But not everybody can outlast me. And the only reason for that is health.
Health. Exactly.
Energy management.
Yes. Energy management. I like the way you put that.
Yes.
It's not about being lean. It's not about, the way you look is always downstream. People look at you and say, "Oh, you look so good," but that wasn't my objective.
No, that's
my
just
objective,
the effect.
It's just the downstream effect. It's like revenue. Revenue is a downstream effect of the activity that you put in. Revenue is the result. You can't manage revenue. You can't manage the way you look, but you can manage your energy. You can manage your health. You can manage what you do, the weight you push around, and what you put in your mouth. And the downstream effect is how you actually look. So I can see that you've changed something.
Yeah.
When I walked in here, I asked you.
Yeah, it's the first thing. And on that point,
and that causes you to outlast.
Absolutely, because I'm freaking excited. It's just before 11 o'clock now. I have too much energy at the moment. Like I'm bouncing around, like my feet are moving, and this is how I look until 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is I'm putting the right stuff in my body, and I'm straining my body each and every day, building up that stamina. But to get to outlast, perfect example. I never go to bank events, ever. Not even year-end functions. I've stopped doing that years ago. People normally get drunk, they do dumb shit, and it's a shit show. It's not for me. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to see a guy that I have to respect on Monday fooling around between his peers. It's very repulsive.
Yeah.
I can say that to you because you've never ever gotten drunk, or I've never heard a story. Never.
I leave parties early.
Yes.
When I see everyone else starting to, okay, you won't even know I'm gone.
Yes. Oh, you won't even know I'm
You
gone.
won't even know I'm gone. I slip out at the point that I know they won't know.
Beautiful. You don't say goodbye.
Where were you last night? What time did you leave? Oh, I can't remember.
It was early morning. So someone that I really admire and respect in the banking industry phones me last week, says we have this event. I'd really appreciate you. I know you don't go to these things, but I'd really like to see you there. I'm like, fuck, what time is it? No, it starts at 1 o'clock. I said, I'll be there because that's lunchtime. Cool. I get to so this is straight after I've learned corporate athlete.
Yes.
So that's the only thing I'm saying to myself, Bobs, you, my man, are a corporate athlete. So now everything filters down from that. What does a corporate athlete listen to on his way to this big event? Well, he doesn't listen to Tupac like I normally listen to in my gym ears. So I listen to something a corporate athlete would listen to. So I listen to a political podcast, and I'm going to be a corporate athlete when I get there. First thing I notice, probably 60 people. 2 are in shape. Okay. The 2 that are in shape, and I'll tell you off
That's
camera,
like 1%.
That's 1%. The 2 that are in shape, one his business is doing very well. I know his business is doing well because I'm tracking him. He is an enemy that I would like to kill in the realm of doing business, but I respect him. He probably lost 20 kilos since the last time I saw him, and I saw him last year at one of your events. Just, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
His business is doing very well. Everyone else is grey in the face and carrying 30, 40 kilograms too much. I can speak about this because I was grey in the face.
They have to grab their thigh to get out of bed.
Eating sweets, my friend, at 1 o'clock. Eating fucking sweets at 1 o'clock. And then I'm checking who's actually a threat here, because we're corporate athletes.
No,
only
because
two.
they're not two. Because 1%. Because only 1% is going to fucking outlast you.
Yes. So this guy's dangerous. Immediately I go and immediately to him I said, "You're looking very good. You're looking sharp. What do you do with training? What do you do with diet?" He says, "No, I do this and this." "What do you do?" "I do this and this." "When do you go?" "I go this time." "What do you do before, after?" Ask me like all the right questions that I wanted to ask him. So we exchange information. His business is doing well. The rest of the people, how's business? "No, it's very bad.
It's funny, hey? 98% of people. Oh no, it's cock.
It's very bad."
It's very bad.
I'm like, shit, I hope this guy
And then
doesn't
and then
infect me.
and then they usually go down the road of the country is screwed.
Yeah, interest rates, the country.
No, you are screwed.
Yes, 100%.
Your behavior is screwed.
Yes,
You don't know what you're doing.
100%. So in the essence of outwork, out-improve, strategize, and outlast, the only way you outlast me is if you take care of your body better. Because eventually, guess what? You get a fucking heart attack. And even if you're ahead of me, I win. Yeah, so that's...
Because you'll be dead.
You'll be... Yeah, it's
So
like...
I'd outlast you. Game over.
Yeah, game over, brother. See you on the other side. On the other side. So outlast is hyper important to me. Corporate athlete is what I'm repeating to myself all the time. And I know with an even lower body fat percentage, my testosterone goes even higher and my aggression levels go even higher, which makes me more formidable. That's why I decided to lean out.
You're looking good.
Thank you, sir.
You're looking good.
You're always looking good. You're always looking good. Speaking of formidable, can we jump topic?
Yeah.
It's been a couple of days after Donald J. Trump, DJ Trump,
The Donald.
Donald, gets elected as the new leader of the free world. And what are some of the headlines that you've been hearing? He hasn't even, he hasn't been sworn in. He hasn't been acting as, he is just a name that's going to be out there, and the rest of the world
He's going to sit up and take notice.
have now done a few things. What have you heard?
So the first thing I've heard is that the rest of the Western world, Western world, I mean, from the edge of Portugal and England all the way up to Russia.
Yes.
Okay, the Western world. I've heard nothing about the Eastern world. The rest of the Western world are towing the line, and they're making it obvious.
Yes.
Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is that he has begun very early. Last time he didn't do this. Very, very early, he's putting his leadership team together.
Selecting the key individuals that are going to surround him.
Yes. Now, Trump he's not a dictator, but he wants his agenda followed. And I think there's a difference.
I like that.
Okay. So he's been elected and he has an agenda. So what I think he's doing is he's picking people that are behind that agenda, not people that are going to undermine that agenda. Yes, have an opinion, express that opinion, but if that opinion goes against his agenda, you're going to be gone.
Boom.
And a lot of leaders can take a page out of that book. Is if you're a founder of a business, you have an agenda, you have a direction, you have a vision, right?
Correct.
Don't let anyone else screw up that agenda. political influences,
Internal.
internal
Politics.
politics, bullshit. Just carve them out. And a classic move has been the appointment of this Tsar.
Yes.
The guy that's going to be the outsider that's responsible for border deportation. Surprise initially, but why did he pick that guy? Tom Heyman, I think his name is.
Yes.
I think it's Tom Heyman.
Everybody out there should just go and watch 2 or 3 pieces of content on this guy. This is like Old Testament guy. This guy is straight up killer.
But why did he pick him?
Because you can't flip-flop on that topic. There is a right way and a wrong way. If you find yourself on the wrong side of the fence, then we're not negotiating.
Excuse the pun. The border.
Yeah, excuse the pun, yes. The wall that Mexico helped build. But if you find yourself on the wrong side of the law, there's no negotiation. We're not speaking about it. We're not going to have a memorandum signed by, we're gripping you and we're sending you back. Done.
Yeah.
So
he picked him because he's squarely behind Trump's agenda.
And he believes in it.
And he believes in it. You know, and I think what Trump is doing is he's sitting down and picking people that don't have even the slightest question around his agenda. If you even argue with me about my agenda, you're not for me.
What's happening in that dynamic as well, and that's when you deal with someone formidable. The UAE announces that we are no longer welcoming Hamas members in our state to come and hold these lavish holidays. They're not welcome here.
You know why they're doing that?
Why?
Because I think they know, the rest of the world knows, whatever moves they make right now
Will have an influence.
will have an impact on how they are treated
when he comes
when
into
he comes
power.
into power.
So it's almost like bringing apples to the teacher and bringing grapes. And, you know, my mom sent you this and my granny knitted you this. Here you go. Please
Toe the
show
line.
us favor.
Mm.
That
I mean,
just,
even Putin
yes.
is now started to play ball. I mean, how odd is that?
The clear division and the line that the EU took to say we will be buying I think it's there's a short acronym for it, but it's liquid gas
Yes.
from the States and no longer be buying it from Russia. They've made that public. It's
It's a statement.
It's a statement. We will no longer be going this way. We'll be going this way. I think that also immediately increases the pressure on Putin to say, but hold on, if everybody now turns towards, against me, what's the loss of revenue? Because ultimately that's why the dollar weakened, because they put all the embargoes and Russia went, okay, that's fine. We'll just then sell our stuff to Europe.
Yeah.
We'll continue using this pipeline. You're too far. But now that everybody's saying we'll buy from you, he has to make correct moves and sequence them nicely. Otherwise, there's a knock-on effect.
Yes. And that's going to happen next year.
Because the real war, it's a corporate war, right?
Well, it's a trade war.
It's a trade war.
It's an economic war.
That's the real war.
That's the real war. It's like, you're competing with another dealership.
Yes.
It's an economic battle.
Yes. And the battle is won behind the scenes. The battle is won by strategic partnerships. So he's looking at, okay, these guys are partnering up with him. What can I lose? What do I have to gain? How do I block this? Well, I can't. What if he asks me to do this? So if he asks me to end the war in Ukraine, I can say yes, but then I can leverage the yes to something else. I think that's how they're processing all these issues, because now they have to. They've got a real guy that's built a business. He's a multi-billionaire. He's made it in media. He's charismatic, and he's got a proven track record. So they have to dance to his tune.
And now Trump's got the experience. He's been in the office for 4 years. He knows what to look for. He knows who to look for. And he knows clearly what the outcomes need to be. And as a result of that, I think the first day that he's in office is not going to be this kind of, oh, let's take 6 months to get my feet under the table. That guy's going to hit the ground running.
I think a very big advantage for him right now is the fact that there is no skeletons that he needs to worry about. So there's nothing anybody can literally, I think there's nothing. Well, there is nothing because they would have found something. There's nothing that anybody can bring up to the table and say, listen, we've got you on these two things here, so you best behave, otherwise...
He's no one's puppet.
No.
He's no one's puppet, and I think the rest of Europe know that.
So powerful.
No one's puppet.
I'm excited for the future. I think the undermining and the politics and the games are not going to be going away. It will always remain there. But the level and the depth of the BS that we've been experiencing over the last few years is gone.
I think the benefit for him is that he's got the popular vote. He's got the Senate yet.
He does.
And then the House of Representatives.
Yes, he's got that as well.
So if he's got all three of those, he's got a lot more leverage than he had in his first term.
Agree.
He can't be pushed against as much.
Exciting. I'm literally every couple of hours going on to Twitter and going on to YouTube to see what has he said. The other thing is, I listened to something this morning and everyone said the last 6 months was Trump's election to lose. So in the past, you have him as a leader that says something so stupid. I'm like, why that?
Yeah, but he does. He puts his foot in his mouth sometimes.
Yes. So that guy explained it this way, and it made so much sense. It's his election to lose. So sometimes it's, we've got a great business. It's my business to lose.
If you've got the momentum, it's yours to lose.
It's yours to lose. And he's been so disciplined. He's behaved.
There's a new Trump here.
Ooh,
it's a brand new Trump. I think in the first round, he's a bit green, maybe a little bit too outspoken. Didn't choose his words carefully. He's choosing his words carefully. Still getting the message across. A lot more presidential. Focusing on the one thing that matters: economic policy.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that matters.
Yes.
Is economic policy, because at the end of the day, everybody's livelihoods is what matters.
Yes.
The country's livelihoods is what matters. It doesn't spin around one view of a particular thing. It spins around the economic outcomes of every family in that country.
Not their pronouns.
Not their pronouns.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Poof. Overnight. 2 genders, and that's plenty. Overnight. Amazing.
How have you been experiencing the auto industry in the last month?
Got some data for you. I know my data is like a drop in the ocean compared to yours, but last month, interesting month. The most applications with documents that we've submitted at F&I in 26 months. Most profitable month in 26 months that we've had. Not the most units though. So down, our record month for the last 2 years was back in Jan. So we're down about 20% on units. 20%, it's a proper number on units, but up about 20% in profitability with a lot less staff. So auto industry for me, like we need Ray-Bans, those aviators. The future looks so bright. We need to put sunglasses on. And having been to the meeting yesterday with that certain bank, they've never, ever in their history processed as many applications as they have last month. That's a fact.
Okay. So that stacks up to Autotrader's data. October has been the best month in terms of growth for Autotrader in the last year.
Best month growth.
Best month for year-on-year growth.
Amazing.
Well
done.
Here's some of the numbers. First of all, visits to Autotrader up 20%.
That's huge.
20%.
Sorry, if I may, have you spent more on marketing? Have no
Changed nothing.
no levers were pulled?
No levers, didn't turn any dials.
Because I've pulled lots of levers, but I've spent less on marketing. So we've spent less on
But
marketing.
you've become more efficient.
We've invested a lot more sweat equity in the marketing, became more efficient,
Yes.
but we've spent less. So you haven't spent more. 20%'s a lot.
20% growth in visits. That has translated into 12% growth in leads to the market.
We feel it, we felt it, because we track it daily.
So not only are people searching more, but that's also translating into conversion. Okay. Used car sales off Autotrader. Up. I can't remember the exact percentage, but used car sales for Autotrader up 5.5%, if I recall.
That's huge in terms of numbers at the
Yes.
bottom end.
Yes.
That's huge.
Average price of a used car listed on Autotrader up 1.1% year on year.
What is it? 390, 390,
403.
403.
Yeah, 403,000.
Very
listed.
close. Very close to the number that it was 393. The number that I received yesterday from the bank.
Okay. So here's another number. So that's cars listed. Okay. Cars sold,
Yes.
right? Off Autotrader up 4.7% year on year. So the price of cars sold up from 384 to also just over 400,000.
So cars are becoming more expensive.
Well,
Used cars
Used car
are retaining their value.
has retained their value
Yeah.
better in
Yeah.
October. It was down to 1% in the month before.
It's a huge increase.
So for about just shy of 5% increase in the average price of a used car sold. Okay, 1.1% average used car listed. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the more expensive cars are still staying longer on the platform, and the less expensive cars have grown in value.
And they move.
And they're moving. Inflation at its lowest point in a couple of years at 4.5%.
Yeah, that's very
And
good
we know
news.
that interest rates are marginally down. They're really nothing to write home about.
They're gonna sit again on the 21st, and according to the economists that were there yesterday, they're leaning towards 0.25, but with a high probability of 0.5.
So here's another one. New car sales in the country grown 5.5% in October. Really good number.
That's very good.
It's very good. But if you remove exports, 14% growth.
14.
Exports have declined by over 40%.
Jeez.
So what all of this is telling me is that our domestic market is quite buoyant at the moment.
Good.
I have a qualification.
Okay.
Okay. I hope it's not this. And I really, really hope it's not this. Because if it is this, then it's going to be short-lived.
Ooh.
And that is the two-pot system. People pulling money out of their pension funds. So I'm hoping that the buoyancy that we're seeing in the used car market and the new car market is not people pulling money out of their pension funds and spending it on cars and other stuff.
I'm gonna suggest that it's not, because I haven't seen the increase in the volume of deposits that we've been
Okay.
receiving. Not
Okay.
at all. It's still 80-90% no deposit deals that we're
Okay.
pushing through, and our cash business hasn't grown.
Hasn't grown.
No.
Okay. So that
no.
maybe
No.
in from those
For
numbers.
us not.
Yeah. I mean, you're a massive dealership, so
Cash
so
hasn't grown.
chances are you're representative of
Yeah.
of what the average dealership will be doing. But I'm hoping that it's not the two-pot system, because if it's the two-pot system, then the uptick in the automotive economic environment will be short-lived.
Yeah.
If it's not the two-pot system, then this could be the sign that the economy's turning.
We've got a very unique process in our business. Who touches customer first? We've spoken about it at length on the show, on previous episodes. So at a stage, I touch every customer at a certain stage of the transaction. That's before the client actually signs the contract or pays over the money. Whether it's a cash or finance deal, I touch the client before the deal is concluded. And the change in attitude over the last 2 months has been the following, which was again verified. We had a proper laugh yesterday.
Yeah.
There was one client that applied at 40 dealers.
What?
40 dealers. Okay? Was validated 40 times.
How does that do to his credit score?
And he did take up a car. So
From Mitmac?
No, they didn't say. They didn't say.
Okay.
So I was like, man, that dealership's Aikido is strong. We need to study that dealership. Who won? So the guy said, no, confidential, we can't say, but they tracked it. 40 approvals, so 40 applications, 40 approvals, 40 validations, so 40 offers presented, took one of the and the cool thing about it was that the cars were very similar, so similar make model, similar price range. So the guy wasn't erratic. Can I qualify for a Bentley? I don't really want to
But
pay
he's a
that.
Suzuki Swift client.
Yeah. So very similar, very similar. So this guy was like really shopping. This tells me another thing, and into sequencing what you've been doing at Autotrader as a dealership. Never before has your reputation ever, and probably never will be, as important as it is today.
Or is it going to be in December and January?
Or exactly in December and January, when that goes to the front end. and currently we can only see hours, which is nerve-wracking because I'm trying to build that up to 5, and every now and then we get a 3.5 because the service was decent, but it wasn't a 5. Then it is what it is. Every 3.5 sets me back like 6 or 7 5 stars. I'm already doing the maths to bring me back to the level where I was to start growing. And I'm like, shit, we need to fix this. Not yesterday, like 10 days ago. We need to.
Students should be listening. if you're getting 60% for your exams, you should not be happy.
Yeah, 100%. No. Second place. You know, Els, if you can recall the day when we received the 100K block behind me here, I said to you guys, take that fucking thing and throw it in the dustbin. Do you remember the day? Do you remember that day?
Because you were after this one.
Yeah, so silver medals belong in the dustbin. And you guys are like, no, you can't do that. Take the thing and throw it in the dustbin. The real one is that one. But we worked very, very hard to get that one. So if you have that mentality, you know, the intention is to constantly make mistakes and improve. But never before has it been more important to manage your reputation correctly and let people know what your reputation is. If it's not good, you know, fix it. Where did I make the mistakes? How can I
show the consumer that your brand is fixing the problems.
Is for the problem.
Don't
yes.
hide the problems, fix the problems.
Yeah. So 40. I'm just thinking, like, how do I become the one that has the Aikido to win that customer's trust after he's spoken to 40, and reputation is one of them.
Definitely.
I think that should be
it's
the
a
main
key.
one.
It's a key element to winning business is reviews. I think the reviews of the future. So at the moment, we've built ratings and reviews in a way that is in line with the way the world is using ratings and reviews. We think we've done it better by
Agree.
creating a moderation process and the ability for dealers to answer and trying to weed out trolls.
Agree.
Because we don't we want the real stuff, right? Giving dealers an opportunity to solicit reviews. But I think the future of reviews is contextual.
Okay.
What I mean by that is if you as a user come onto Autotrader, you want to be able to see where else a reviewer has given reviews.
Meaning, has he reviewed many dealers?
Yes.
Has he reviewed many
Many
businesses?
cars.
Many cars. Okay.
What is the context of the reviewer? Because it's not only about the dealer. It's also about the reviewer, because you can find out a lot about the quality of a review by understanding the reviewer.
100%. And on a different platform, I don't want to give them more airtime, but we all know on which one. You can go and actually see how many businesses has that person reviewed.
Yes.
And I promise you now, we received a 1-star in the week. It was amazing. Massive leak in our business. Fixed it. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving us the 1-star. That person had reviewed 13 businesses, 1-star.
So then they're a troll.
100%. But
you want to know about the trolls.
that leak that person found
It was real.
was real, and I'm thankful for them bringing it up to us. But normally the 1-star person, he's
Demona.
he's a seer mens when he goes to Spur. He's just a seer
Not
when he
only do
goes
you
to
get
a dealer's.
lemon cars, you also get lemon reviewers.
There we go. So that's interesting. Is that coming?
Contextual.
Is that coming
Well,
in as a new feature?
it's part of the path.
Okay.
It's part of the path, because you want to be able to know how, or the quality of the review, not only the quality of the dealer and the dealer's reputation, but the quality of the reviewer themselves, so that you can make a judgment call as a consumer. Oh, okay, I should ignore that person's review because all they do is moan.
Yes. Yes, because they've got 11 1-stars.
Yes. Doesn't mean that any of the moaning is not relevant, but it kind of does downweight that
Agree.
that 1-star a little bit.
He's a little bit of a troll.
This guy has not given anybody any compliments.
Yeah.
Surely people are doing good stuff
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
100%.
We're not all cuck.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Agree. And I think on the opposite side, on the other side of the coin, a person that has reviewed 10 businesses and has a 1, a 2, a 5, a 4.
That's a quality person.
That's a quality person.
That's
Agree.
a quality
That's
reviewer,
real
because they're giving their true perspective, both positive and negative.
and negative. Agree. Exciting. When is it going on the front end?
December.
1st of December. I don't want to put you on the spot.
You as well as I know, and so does Elon Musk. Developers, engineers, software engineers are a law unto themselves.
Oh, yeah, just feed them pizza underneath the door
And
there where you can have
and
a
so
little
so
bit of a gap.
this is one of the reasons Elon Musk's predictions often I think don't hit the timeline.
Often, not always.
No. To be fair, technology and software engineering is
hard.
It's hard. It's
very
it's
hard.
not as easy as you think. So I'd rather say December, and if it's in the beginning, great. If it's at the end, great.
Mind you, knowing you, and basing my statement of historical experiences, it's always like a soft opening. We just switch it on at night, and then tomorrow you just see it. There's no
Boom.
like, listen, tomorrow it's going live. It's just poof, it's live, and there we go. It's on.
It's called a soft launch.
Yeah,
So
good.
we did the dark launch, which is in your back end. Then we'll do the soft launch, and then we'll do the hard launch.
Beautiful. I'm excited. It's well overdue.
Let's see who wins between Tyson and
Tyson and Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Yeah. Older and experienced with more stamina, or young and hungry. Or maybe it's rigged. Shit, I hope it's not rigged. Awesome. I enjoyed this episode.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Take care,
you.
guys. Boom.